A building snowpack in Canada, in combination with a strengthening El Nino in the eastern Pacific, has the potential to set up a snow explosion in parts of the U.S. later in December. Will you be impacted? I'll let you know and explain why in today's report. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Greg Majeski, and before we get started, I first want to thank all my subscribers, all 428 of you, as we continue to build this YouTube channel. And for those who have not yet subscribed, please consider it. It'd be an honor to kind of help provide you with some of your weather information needs here on YouTube. Now, today we're talking about what to expect as we're getting into December, and I really look at the potential being there for some explosive snow events, especially across the eastern third of the United States. Now, you got to have several ingredients for this. We're going to go ahead and zoom in here to this model run here. This is the American GFS model here, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this and take it right out to the end here as we're looking at the snowpack to really start to build across areas of eastern Canada. I'm not seeing as much snow out toward the west, but what snow does is when you start getting a nice deep layer there, it's a good pack to where you start to see a high pressure kind of build on in there. You get a true Arctic high pressure kind of build over a nice good snowpack. And what happens is when you get high pressure to kind of build up in here, let me clear that up for you again, and you get a high pressure to kind of build in here. There's my little high. The airflow always goes from high to low. So as we watch things to happen down into the continental United States, the high is going to be pulled and attracted to lower pressure. And that leads us to what we're going to be talking about as far as El Nino's influence. So let's go over and check out the latest on El Nino. Now what you're looking at here is a graph representation of the sea surface anomalies with temperatures that are above or below normal. As you can see at the beginning of the year, we were coming out of a La Nina pattern, but most of the summer we've been kind of oscillating here, and it's been going upward, the trend here the last couple of months. We're running about 1.5 degrees above normal, and it is forecasted to get pretty close to what we had back in 2015 when the El Nino topped in with anomalies about 2.5 degrees above normal. So let's bring it all together as I'm looking at the American GFS model for an example going into this upcoming weekend. And what we've been seeing so far this season is we've had a steady flow of moisture that's been coming out of the Pacific and running into the southeast. Okay, it's been kind of running there with little disturbances pretty much for the last, say, month or so. And we've been getting on the backside of these low pressure some cold air that's been coming down out of Canada. So it's kind of a synchronization issue, watching the cold air run into some of that moisture. Now, the forecast, what I've been seeing with the low pressures, have been mostly for the interior. So we've been looking mostly inside here for the low pressures and not been tracking along the eastern seaboard. So when I see that, it means that the heavier snow threat, I think, is going to be mostly for the interior. That's not to say that the big cities like New York down to Washington, D.C. are out of the woods. It just means that I think the greater chance is going to be for the interior sections for the heavier snow. So we're talking about areas across the Midwest, heading into, say, northern Alabama, North Georgia, and across the Appalachians up through Pennsylvania. I think those are the areas that are going to see the highest chance and the highest risk of seeing some heavier snows as we head later into the month of December, especially the second half. Now, we've already been seeing some heavy lake effect snows across the Great Lakes as the cold air that's been migrating across those relatively warm waters of the Great Lakes dumped some pretty good snow amounts across New York City, or New York State, I should say. But we're going to continue to see how that cold air and those shots, as they do come down, interacts with the moisture. That's going to be critical to watch as we go deeper into the winter. So we're going to be watching very closely over the next couple of weeks how the cold air kind of builds across areas of Canada. Now, we've got some cold air that's currently sitting across the Great Lakes here at the end of November. But what I want you to watch closely is the amount of pink that's going to build up here across areas of northern Canada. I want you to think of cold air kind of like taking a bowl of water and filling it up. You know, eventually that water is going to spill over the sides and it has to come down. And that's what we're going to be watching here closely. So as I take you through time, I want to take you right into from the end of November straight into the middle of December. Again, this is just a projection, especially that far out, but it kind of makes the point of what I'm trying to say here. So as I go ahead and step you through here, watch that pink really start to expand across bigger and larger portions of Canada as we head into the middle of the month. Eventually starts to come on down. As you can see here, there's a pretty good cold front projected here as we head toward the 15th of the month with this pretty good cold front right in here. But a larger area of the country becomes covered in this this pink area, which is some very cold and frigid temperatures. Now, you may recall last year, we actually had a Siberian air mass that came out over the pole and dove straight down out of Canada, straight into the eastern two-thirds of the United States with some of the coldest air we'd seen in about some 30 years. Now, are we going to see a repeat of that? Too early to call at this point, but what we're waiting on right now is with the cold air coming down and a very active subtropical jet stream, where are the two going to meet up? Are we going to get a good snow event for the interior, or is it going to be something that's going to be along the coastal areas? That remains to be seen. All right, that's your update for now. If you could please do me a favor, as always, if you're new to the channel, please consider to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for future content, and leave me a comment or something down below. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm as I build this channel. All right, that's it, guys. You guys take it easy, and we'll see you on the next update.